Hey guys, welcome to Hex and Chill. This is Kay, Shay, and Lou, and we are so excited for you guys to be here and listen to our brand new podcast.
Whoop, whoop. We're so excited.
We are going to talk about a bunch of different things on this podcast. So if you're an oddball and like weird things like ghosts and past lives and witchy stuff and
Crystals, gardening, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
movies,
books, fairy smut, dogs, cats,
other podcasts,
literally everything.
literally it's like a basket of nonsense. So if you're into that, welcome. This is Hex and Chill.
We're glad you're here. We open up each of our sessions with a sacred circle, and we wanted to invite you to join us with that. We're also going to explain the elements that are involved and kind of go more into depth in our TikTok and Reels, and we'll be releasing that here shortly.
It'll be Hex and Chill on TikTok and
Right, you have to know our name to look us up on social media.
we're there.
Thank
I
God
made
we
one
have
already.
care.
I'm prepared.
We're the best. So we're going to go over kind of what a sacred circle looks like and just creating a space where we can be safe, vulnerable, and just share our hearts with each other.
So in creating a sacred circle, we just have the 4 elements on our table, and we're going to call each of them in. Each of us are called to a different element, and I will start off with air and fire, and then we'll move to water and earth. So we're going to start. I'm going to open up with air, and I am going to say the phrase, I call upon the element of air to bring clarity and wisdom to the circle. May your energy protect and guide. And I like to visualize a soft breeze entering the circle. We're going to ring the bell. And then we move on to fire. I call upon the element of fire to bring passion and transformation into the circle. May your energy protect and inspire us. Now you will imagine a warm energy filling the circle, and we're going to light the candle now. Now that's lit, we're going to move to water.
I call upon the element of water to bring healing and intuition to this circle. May your energy protect and nurture us. You want to visualize a soothing blue light that flows around you, almost like water, in order to create that barrier for our circle.
Next is going to be earth. I call upon the element of earth to bring stability and strength to the circle. May your energy protect and sustain us. Visualize a deep grounding energy in the circle, and it's solid and protecting us. Rustle, 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 rustle.
In our earth bowl, we have a cinnamon stick, pumpkin seeds, and a orange peel to represent earth. And we kind of just put whatever we feel called in there. Once all the elements are called, which we just did, we're going to now visualize a protective bubble or light that encircles us. So just visualize a giant bubble surrounding you, and we'll give you a few minutes to do that. Perfect. The circle is now cast. May it be a place of safety, focus, and sacred energy.
Now that we've cast our sacred circle, I want you guys to just take a second and accept this affirmation with me. I accept the darkness and hardship of the world, and I can still carry light and warmth in it. I want you to think about that as you move through the rest of the day, the rest of the week after you listen to this podcast, and as you are on this journey with Hex and Chill. Since this is something that's brand new to us, we really want you to be a part of that and also be seen and known that you are part of our community as well. And we really appreciate you for giving us a listen.
This is really exciting for us because this is brand new to all 3 of us. Not only are we baby witches, we are also brand new to the podcast world, the game. And so as you're listening, I swear we'll probably get better. We're going to do our best to talk to you about the things we want to talk to you in the best way we can. And we're just really excited for this journey, like Shay said.
We're excited to grow with you guys as a community and just in friendships and everything. We're literally just 3 best friends doing a podcast, and it's pretty freaking cool.
That's why you're probably going to hear a little bit of chaos, but it'll always be rooted in kind of our witch practice. And so if you are also a baby witch, or maybe if you're an experienced witch, one, you can tune in and help us out if you know some things, and if you don't, then you can also learn along our journey too.
Yeah, we are not experts in anything we are talking about. Let's just say that. We're just giving you what we know, how we feel, the way we are inspired by these things, and take it with what you want and run with it, or tell us what your thoughts are on the subject that we are covering that week.
So we pretty much started this journey in about August. I know that Kay and Lou got together.
Yeah, we got together and it was the fall equinox, I'm pretty sure. And Lou was like, Kay, do you want to come over and do like witchy things? And I was like, sure. And so I came over with my partner. We ate a beautiful meal that Lou made with her partner, and we just started doing like a little spell about manifesting good things into our life. And we ended with both of us being like, wow, this was really refreshing.
When are we gonna do it the next time?
This feels really good. And I was like, okay. And then I slept on it and I woke up and I was like, Lou, I know who I'm gonna ask to join us, because I feel like it should be 3 of us. 3 feels right. And so we called our friend Shay, and Shay answered the phone and was like,
I'm down to try anything.
She's like, that sounds amazing. And I was like, okay, well, come hang out. We're gonna just chill like a girls' night and kind of play with this new concept.
Dude, also, so the first night we were so nervous. I also just want to preface that we are all baby witches, and we do not like, we know what we're doing in the sense that what we're doing feels right to us. But when we first started, we were fire hydrants, so much information and it was just really hard to figure anything out.
I love that you say that, because I feel like that's what our podcast is going to represent for so many people. So if we could have taken in information in bite-sized portions like we're doing here on the podcast, we would have had a much easier transition into the witchcraft scene.
I mean, that first night we were like pulling spices off my rack and being like, this feels good. Let's put it into this jar. At the time, Shay was dealing with something, and we were like, let's make something and give it to you, and you can take it home, and then maybe it'll help you with your problem right now. And so we just started to we had a basic concept. We looked up, you know, the spell, but then we kind of started doing things just
because it intuitively felt right.
And that is what we were also about. Do this journey however you want to do it. I think being a witch is all about intentionality, and how we as women are now really intentional with each other. Through this process, we get together, we talk about things that, you know, the weirdest part of ourselves, we feel safe bringing to the table during these meetings together. And I think that is an incredible thing.
I remember that first meeting, I was feeling nervous because Shay and I have known each other since college, but we haven't ever been super close until now, obviously. Anyways, but I didn't really know her at that point, and I was nervous because what if she thought this was weird? What if this was weird? And I just remember thinking even calling it a spell felt childish, and
like we were imposters.
Yes, and that's what took us so long to get to where we are now, is because, and I still feel that imposter syndrome, right? I was super Christian. I was going to be a missionary. I did all of these things, and now I'm a witch, and I don't want people to think, oh, well, she doesn't believe in this religion anymore, so she's going to go the complete opposite, because a lot of times people think witches, they think devil worship. And that is completely off, not right at all. And there are definitely witches that do that, but it's not everyone. And so feeling that imposter syndrome of saying, yeah, I'm going to do a spell, and people being like, oh, that's really weird, you must love Satan, it felt weird. And for us to be able to come in together that night and show that weirdness and show that vulnerability and show that, and have all of us look at each other and be like, yes, me too, was the most empowering thing, because we just get to do that together.
I love what you just said, because I feel like one of the things I dealt with from the beginning of this process, once again, grew up Christian, And we would have these moments where we'd write something that we were trying to let go of, or like, get over the hurdle. And mine was like, I just would keep on being like, I would feel so good in the moment. And then later I'd be like, what? You're so dumb for doing this, because it was that brainwashing of this was wrong. I literally looked up the definition of witch today because we're about to go into another part of our podcast that talks about what the word witch means to us. And witch defined as a person thought to have magical powers, especially evil ones. So like even the word witch in itself has negative connotations to it. It is evil. It is Satan, just like Lou said. And so we are here to tell you like what we think that word means, because it's not what the world, or the majority of the world, believes it is.
Yeah, I think, listen, I'm a big theater person, so I'm going to do a little bit of comparison to some musicals. But I think is like, after being a Christian, after hearing all of the negativity all about being, or witchcraft, or specifically surrounding Harry Potter for some reason. I don't know if you've ever been in the church community, but
yeah, they hate it.
They hate Harry Potter.
And he's amazing. He's like the representation of like love.
But it's the fear.
Yeah.
Which we will get into that at another point. Continue, Shay.
It's not that the author of Harry Potter used the word witch in their books. They used the word wizard, and even that was still negative. And so,
you're a wizard. That was an awful Hagrid impersonation.
It sounded like Gollum.
Wrong universe. Continue.
But I do think that even though that was about over 20 years ago at this point, thinking about how the world has even evolved in just those 20 years, how now when we think of witchcraft, we're starting to think a little bit more about just like asking the earth for something. We're not asking anyone in particular, but we're talking to the thing that is actively growing right in front of our eyes, and just asking for those gifts and trying to receive them, but then also giving back to the earth at the same time.
And asking those things of ourselves and each other. And we'll get into this at another point, but I think especially as women, we have been told for the entirety of time that we are less than and we are not as powerful, and they are trying to keep us down and everything. But like when you look at what a witch is, it was mostly the women who were misunderstood, the healers, the ones that were just a little off and everything. And when we can come together and ask each other, we are so powerful, and we can come together. And I believe that the three of us together can make anything happen, because we are here together sharing this energy, sharing the same goal and everything. And there's so much power in that. So we're not just asking the earth and everything, we're asking that of each other. And it's beautiful.
I love that you said that specifically, because I was thinking about how I would define witch, and one of the things was taking back power. And I really do believe that like everyone has experienced some sort of power struggle in their life. When you get to take back that power, when you get to create something, you, one, see the worth in who you are, and two, you can also understand how you affect the world and how the world affects you. And I think this whole idea really like continues to push the meaning of witch for me to feel more like a new beginning. We're taking something back that we never had, especially as females. That's what being a witch is, in my opinion, and I believe in our opinion as well.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, I sometimes struggle with calling myself a witch so openly because of the negative connotation with the word. Just like the word Christian for me now has a more negative thing. Like when I was deconstructing, I was like, I don't really want to call myself a Christian anymore, because I don't really like the people that carry that title. Not all people, but the church. And I was struggling with getting away from that. And for me, like this new world that I'm stepping into that feels comfortable and safe and welcoming, it's totally different. It's and the empowerment of you can be whatever kind of witch you want to be. You want to be in the closet with the brooms, you are welcome.
Yes. And I think that's, for me, has been the most, it's been the biggest challenge and also the most liberating thing, because I chose Christianity, and I chose that religion because I needed structure and I needed something to keep me safe and something that was there for me. And it served me and it helped me, and I wouldn't be who I am today without it. And so I'm still very thankful for that journey. But in that, there was a lot of trauma and a lot of labels and a lot of rules, and you have to do these things to do certain things. And when I started looking into this and looking into witchcraft and everything, the most liberating thing is there's not a right or wrong way to do it. I mean, obviously there's baneful magic and blood magic and blah, 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 because there's always going to be bad, quote unquote, bad things. But there's no criteria for one to identify themselves as a witch. So you don't have to do specific, there's no set rules, and I don't have to put a label on myself.
I love that you said at the beginning, this whole experience of becoming a witch and being a witch is more forgiving, because I think from the background that you just talked about, there are rules and expectations, and it's so much less forgiving when you mess up. Granted, the Christian religion believes that God forgives you, but does society forgive you? Because it still feels like even if you've done something and you've asked for forgiveness and you've tried, you still don't really get forgiven.
And the thing that I really struggle with every single day is I have so much anger and hurt and trauma from the religion of Christianity and specific people and all of that and everything. But when I am practicing quote unquote witchcraft and being intentional and doing my morning rituals and doing just all of my rituals, I find myself being so much more forgiving, find myself being so much more understanding, empathetic, and less judgeful and hateful, because I understand that they're still stuck in it. And the really frustrating part is we don't receive that on the other side. And that's where I know I'm in the right path for me, because I'm not choosing to be hateful to anyone, and I don't ever want to be a part of something that's going to be hateful to anyone.
Yeah, it's almost this idea that we finally popped out of this bubble and we're sitting on the edge now with a bunch of beautiful people being like, we just want to reach in and pull them out, but we can't do that. It's like when you're like, we just opened up a little veil to see a part of the world that it feels so right. And I love not being in the box anymore. So we, as Hex and Chill, as these three ladies trying to figure out the world and deconstructing and, this new beautiful thing of witchcraft, we invite you oddballs out there that hear this message that we just spoke and be like, yes, I just want to sit in this and be a part of this. Like, that is why we're doing this podcast.
Yes. And we're not afraid of your weird. And I promise you, we will sit there and listen and be like, oh my gosh, same. And we're just here for it. We invite you on this journey because we wouldn't be who we are without everyone in our journey.
You are safe. You are seen. We hope that you feel like completely welcome to this new journey we are on.
All right, so now we're going to move into just a quick tarot read. So we actually want to do this for every podcast. We'll include 3 different cards. We'll include a mineral. So we have a mineralogy deck that also talks about all of the metaphysical properties of it, also healing properties as well. And we'll also tell you a little bit more about like how you can find that. If you're looking for it, we'll describe it to you a bit. Then we'll also be pulling from an apothecary deck where we will talk about an herb and its healing properties. And additionally, we'll pull a major or minor arcana card from our tarot deck. We hope that it will help guide you for the remainder of the week until we see you again next week.
We love to do this in every one of our coven meetings as well. It really just helps set the intention to see how it folds into our week or how we've already seen that. It's always really cool.
All right, so I pulled from the regular tarot deck. It's my deck, and I got the card, the King of Pentacles, and I got it upright, and it says wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Well, I think that's quite fitting for a new business.
I love it. And quite fitting for a new podcast. I have our apothecary deck, and I just pulled it, and we got the flower calendula, which is one of my favorite flowers. So the practical is it reduces inflammation, used to treat rashes and infections, helps close wounds, speeds the healing process. And the magical, it is used in legal magic and in trials, place around doors to ward off evil, spread beneath bed to manifest dreams.
I love that. And we just worked with calendula. We actually created home blessing candles. And for some reason, that was one of the herbs that called to us. We actually literally just made these
so cool.
2 weeks ago. So I love that. And I do have our mineralogy deck. And the stone that I pulled is smoky quartz. So this actually activates your root chakra. And if you are not familiar with it, it looks a lot like a quartz point, and it is translucent brown. So some has a deeper inclusion of brown, some is lighter. So it eases depression, calms the mind, reduces fear and panic, elevates mood, overcomes negative emotions and unhappiness, grounding and centering. And I actually wear it every single day. It's a great stone to keep you grounded, especially when other people's energy might be invading yours. So if you find that you are often taking on other people's energy, 100% wear smoky quartz, put it in your pocket, keep it on you. Keep it on you.
Shay is our crystal lady. She has crystals at home all over. Whenever we like need help, we're like, Shay, what is this? And she's like, that's a banana.
Blah, 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 blah. A banana.
That's a banana.
All right, guys, we're going to close our circle. So I'm going to ring the bell and say thank you, air. Blow out the candle. Thank you, fire.
I'm pouring out the water. I'm saying thank you, water.
Thank you, earth.
Anyways, guys, that is it for this time. I know it was a little short, but we want to make a short little podcast for you that is just about us. And we're going to go into much more in episodes to come every Wednesday. Check us out. We're going to drop you a little joy.
Yeah. And we end each of our coven meetings, each of our podcasts with the light in me sees the light in you. Have a great week, guys.
Love you, witchies. That's a wrap for episode 1.